Hey everybody, thanks for being here. This week we're back trolling plugs for wild rainbows on the Yakima River. Now if you want to learn how to catch more fish, stay tuned. I'm Justin Wolf and this is Angler West Television. It's known as the Evergreen State, a name given to it by people living on the other side of the mountain. Today we're on the Yakima River in eastern Washington on a cool winter day to float the river with Bill Herzog and Jared Higginbotham, looking to back down some plugs on hungry, wild rainbow trout.
These are old school direct drive Bantams.
So cool, dude.
And those we're using today are old school, early 80s Shimano Bantam direct drives. The old silver Bantams. Trout are wonderful to play on direct drive. It's old school and it's really a nice way to cushion a light leader. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've done this a couple times, and light rods, light gear, and plug fishing for trout is one of the coolest things you're ever going to do. So everybody can do it. It's very easily accessible, you know, whether planters or river trout or whatever. So you're going to want to stay tuned and watch this. This is going to be fun. As you can see, these Maglip come stock from the factory with a treble hook on them. So we have to change this out to a single Siwash in this river. This river is single barbless hook, no bait, no scent. So that's why if you don't see us using any Procure scent or anything out here, that's why it's not legal. Otherwise, we would love to put some scent on it. You know, it probably just would increase our catch ratio, especially today in this dirtier water. But rules say we can't do that. So we're going to change the hook out to a single hook so that we can fish legally and effectively.
We are going to float approximately 7 miles today. We should have half a dozen perfect plug runs. And I promise you, these fish haven't seen a plug, I'd say never. Today is probably the first day they're going to see a plug. And rainbow trout are rainbow trout. If they're 12 inches or 12 pounds, guess what? They'll have a plug. I have one here that looks pretty much like a crayfish in the river. The crayfish colors, that matches the crayfish. And this one's kind of just an attractor, gold, black, orange, a little bit. So we're going to see what they like. And as Buzz Ramsey says, let the fish tell you what they want, and we switch to the colors that they're striking. But we're going to start with an attractor and something natural and see which one they want.
So the water's a little higher than we normally fish it, or we wanted it, but that doesn't change, you know, our necessary game plan. We're just going to fish different water than we normally fish. So in the water where we're usually running right down the gullet, it's always good when a train comes right behind you when you're doing we're on the Yakima River today. The water's a little higher than Uncle Willie and I usually like it, so it doesn't mean that you know, deters us from going fishing. We're still going to fish. We're just going to fish different water. So as the water raises, like any river system, what does it do? It's going to push these trout like to the edges, which is great for plugging because then I don't have to row as hard in the rough water, and we get to watch the plug rods bury all day.
I would love about 200 to 300 less CFS today, but like the big man Rowan said, those fish are all going to get pushed right to the edge. So actually when the water's perfect, they're more spread out, harder to find. When the water comes up, more flow pushes them to the soft edges. It makes them a little bit easier for us to find them today. So if they want to play, because sometimes when the water rises, they shut down, but if they want to play today, we're going to be showing every fish in the river our plugs. That's the good part.
As you notice, it's pretty light out. We didn't start first thing in the morning. This winter trout fishing in this specific river is not really an early morning type deal. Most of the time, you know, it's like a 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock is your really good hours. You'll pick up a fish in those other time zones, but not as consistently as we will between that 10 and 2 o'clock. When that water temp warms up that little bit of degrees, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 degrees, really changes the way these trout think. So I think we're hitting the time just right. The water's a little off, but we got some good sticks in the boat today, so I think we're going to do just fine. So we're skipping over a lot of water we would normally fish. Like we usually be slowing down, tossing a spinner, tossing a jig, but we really want to focus on the plug fishing. So the water that we're going to fish today isn't all of it. It's very selective. We want to put time in where we know those fish are concentrated to give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful. And so, you know, we're going to skip a lot of that water, and reading the water is a big part of any type of river fishing. So as you learn these things and you go through and you fish a certain river or a run or a hole, remember rocks that are in them. Remember where the drop-offs are. Remember those things at different heights. And so as the river changes, you can adjust with it.
Like out here, it's nothing but very nondescript water and a lot of flats. Down below, we're going to get into deeper pools, and we're going to get those current seams. We want the deeper current seams where the fish are right between fast water, slow water. That magic 5-6 foot depth is what we're going to be plugging, and that's where they're going to be, and that's when the places work best for plugs. And when we're plugging, we want to keep our rod angle low, because that's basically our hook set. When you have rods this light, you want just enough slack, quote unquote, in the line to watch the plugs bounce, but keep the rod low, because that's your hook set. When that fish grabs it, that rod needs to load really quick.
Not only that, by allowing your rod angle to be lower in the boat, I see a lot of people, their rod angles are very steep or high up in the air like this. That plug is actually fighting that rod, because that plug's designed to do a couple of things. It's designed to dive, and it's designed to wiggle. So when you're trying to pull back up on it, it can't dive or wiggle the way it was designed by the factory. So you need a lower plug angle to be able to get the action out of the plug.
See a little black mark I got on the line? That's 45 feet.
Now you can see right where I'm putting the plugs, there's a seam right here. I got the right rod basically kind of in a little bit of the faster water, and the left rod is sitting right on the edge of that current seam. And one thing we found in this river is like when you find a seam with bubbles on it, that's where the fish sit for some reason. That foam line, they love it. So that's kind of where we're targeting right now. We're trying to keep our plugs out the same distance because the, not just because the water's dirty, but always do that, because what you do is you kind of herd the fish and push him around, and if you hit one fish right in the nose and he swims off the other side because it irritates him, and he sees a second plug right there beside him, he's going to go ahead and more than likely grab that plug out of aggression. Just like if someone pokes you in the chest once, poke you twice, boom.
Welcome back to the Yakima River. I'm Justin Wolf. Bill Herzog and Jared Higginbotham have deployed the maglets, knowing that success is just a matter of time and technique.
These 2.0 and 2.5 maglip, you know, they'll dive. The 2.0 you're looking at probably 5 to 8 feet on average, and the 2.5 you're probably looking at that 7 to 10 feet. And you know, that's about where we want them. I've found that a lot of times, especially when even plugging steelhead in rivers like this, I like it when they hit the bottom on occasion, because it kind of creates a little bit of a disturbance, like a crayfish is getting up and moving around or something. And so these plugs are ideal for this.
Oh, there's one. There's a fish. Oh, he's on. Outstanding. Nice. Aha. Gold.
Changed to golden red, right?
Golden red. Yes, sir. Golden red. That was a good grab. What I love about these rods, it makes a fish this size look like a 20-pounder. Oh, look at him go. Yay.
These trout in this river, they're pretty hardy. They give you a good fight. You know, we chose the light rods because of the action of the plugs, but it's also fun to fight these fish. And they're beautiful. Wait till you see this fish. It's going to be a nice little trout.
Beautiful trout. Beautiful.
Oh! Yeah.
And the single hook right through his lower jaw. So I'm using 2 clips. I learned this a long time ago from the great master Bob Toman. He is the plug man, and you should read his stuff. Whatever he talks about plug fishing, you know, God rest his soul. But he came up with using the 2 clips. What it does is it opens up the action again of your plug. It releases. Normally people use like a loop knot to make the plug looser, so it plies around a little more. The second clip does exactly that, but I'll go down one size, and maybe it doesn't make a difference, but I think it does. It allows the plug to work a little bit more. The smaller clip doesn't inhibit the plug as much. So if you run 2 clips on your plugs, I don't care what you're doing, salmon, steelhead, even for trout right now, 2 clips opens up the action of all plugs.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Uncle Willie.
With the sun hitting the water like this and the air temperature coming up, we've passed parity, which means the air temperature is now warmer than the water when the water's warming up slightly. And those fish can tell, man, even a couple of degrees during the wintertime, it triggers bug hatches. You'll even see hatches today on the water. For this time of year, it's got to be pretty warm. I'm going to say it's going to be in about 50 degrees today, and for the next 3 or 4 hours, the fish are going to get super active. Oh, man, did he cream?
Oh, man. A lot of people that row drift boats can attest to this, is you can literally feel the takedown like through the oars, especially with a big salmon or steelhead. You can feel it, right? And it just makes it, I don't know, I learned so much more about fishing in a drift boat than I ever did in a big boat, right? Because you're so much more in tune with everything that's going on. So, you know, when you're plugging, one thing you want to do that I see so many people do that's kind of the wrong way to do it is they'll get down in a hole, then they'll put their plugs out. Well, you know, you're putting your plugs out 45 feet, and plus the length of your boat, plus the time it took you to get in the hole, you're missing, you know, at least 60, 80 feet at the beginning of the hole. So we like to get them out ahead of the hole, basically in the flat as it comes down and kind of turns into a riffle before it gets to the pool. I like to dive them down right in the front of the hole and start working that hole from the head and work it all the way back through the belly and out to the tail out. That way that's a most efficient way to cover the water when you're fishing plugs. So if you watch the rod there for a minute, it wasn't just bouncing consistently. It would bounce, it would pop up, it would bounce, it would pop up, which means that the plug is hitting the bottom, it's coming up, and it's working its way up the tail out, which goes like this, which where the majority of the fish will sit, especially steelhead and trout, because a lot of food gets pushed there. But that's why you plug a hole from top to bottom, and you know, a lot of times you'll push fish back that don't want to bite. And you push it back, you hold it in front of their nose long enough, and they'll give you a good grab. And that's what we're trying to do right now. We push them all the way back, and we're gonna let them run here for just a second and pull them out. See that rod scooting around them boulders?
Oh, yeah.
Sliding to the left around that rock.
Yeah.
In just a second. When it circles back behind that rock, I wouldn't be surprised if it got torched.
Come on, there he is, there he is, there he is.
There we go.
He on.
Fish on.
We got him.
As soon as we slip to the left, man, right in
Oh
that
man,
seam.
you better believe it, right? Ooh,
Right where that
ooh,
foam is.
ooh, looky, looky. Good fish. This is a good one. Of course, every fish on these rods is a good one.
It is, man.
But this one's
But I always
really, look at this one. This one's really pulling hard.
Plug fish, man, to me though, I catch bigger fish. Plug fish, I generally catch bigger fish. You know, it's just something about that aggressiveness, like that alpha, you know, that those fish feel when they come in there. And those big ones, they don't like that.
I'm not exactly being careful with this thing. I got this rod pretty much pegged. He doing what he want to do. Ooh. Oh, heck yeah. Look at that. Look at salmon. Nice. What a beauty. What a beauty. Look at that. Man, oh man. Is that gorgeous or what? That was on the plug again. Oh, gorgeous fish. Come on. There he is. There he is. There he is.
We're on the Yakima River plugging for rainbow trout using light fiberglass rods and small mag lips for the perfect presentation.
I love the yellow rods because especially someone of a certain age like me, I can see them really easy and I can see the action of that. If I have a black piece of black graphite out there, I'm like, is it wiggling? I don't know, maybe.
You can see those plug rods bouncing up and bouncing down. That plug will run into a rock, catch it, wiggle, stop for a second, slide over the rock, catch itself, start to wiggle again. That's how you know it's really fishing, right? The maglip is a different animal. It's not just gonna go thump, 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 thump. It's actually, you know, built with a skip beat action. And so it will look like your rod is doing erratic things, which is what you want. That's what causes those fish to bite. When Buzz designed them, he designed the action into every one of them for a reason. He knows what catches fish, and these maglip are fishing. So that's what a lot of people don't understand is your rod is a part of the presentation. It is what really dictates the feedback that that plug gives you while it's working in the water. So, you know, it's kind of like a data system, right? That's how you know it's working or not working. So you really need to pay attention to your plugs and the tips of your rods and watch and see. You can see when a leaf hits it, or if it's not running, or if it's snagged, or, you know, if it's loaded up, or a lot of times a fish will pick it up and come at the boat, and so your rod will just go whoop and come up slack. And so, you know, being able to recognize all those things is just as important as reading the water, is getting the right plug rod for the plugs and the style you're fishing. So pay.
Called it. Woo!
Ooh, he's giving you a little business. A little bit of business. A lot of times when you're plugging, you can see the spots you want to get to, but your presentation on your way in there is key, right? Like, how are you going to get there? And so we took time to get down there to that rock, and, you know, we rode the plugs through, and as soon as they set up and all the plugs started working, I mean, literally the rod folded just like if we rode it in a boat.
Oh. Ooh. Whoa! Look at that. That's how we let him go. Perfect. Oh, that's a pig. Beautiful creature. Look at that thing. What a beaut. I'm up here for you.
Look at that fish.
Ooh la la.
That is a tank of a trout.
That is a gorgeous rainbow.
Look at the spots on that thing.
It's about 18, 19 inches.
Oh, it's gorgeous, bro.
Gorgeous.
God, how much fun is that, right?
He hit it right on cue, too, didn't he?
Like, literally like
Wasn't that great? Let's get him back in the water.
What a gorgeous fish.
Ta-da. All right, baby, take a breath. How you doing? There she blows, kids.
Wow. A little slow going, but man, the fish we're getting are just, I mean, beautiful, right? And those are wild rainbows. This isn't a planter trout deal. These are wild rainbow fish, so rainbow trout. So well worth the while just to be able to catch them, see them, check out all their neat, unique markings each one has differently, and then let them back in the water. Pretty good day of fishing.
Hit golden orange.
Metallic gold fling.
You know that. That's been our big player today. Well, we're out of the sunshine now. We've been doing most of our plugging in the sun, which is why the metallics usually work better in sunshine. I'm gonna say the metallics will work just as well here in the shade because of the time of day. What do you think, Jay?
You know, I think you're right. We found kind of a pattern that's working as far as color, amount of line let out, and the type of water we're targeting. This hole is going to really be a good telltale for us. We do pretty well here plugging. So if not, we'll do this like we did before. We'll change till we figure out what they want.
There he is. Golden black. And he is a good one. He is a running. He got some power. Ooh.
I was about ready to say, come on.
Right? Oh, this is a really,
I like that thump.
oh, this one's really fighting hard. What do I think? What did James Brown say? You get up and do my, get up and do my thing. Oh, beauty. It's a beauty right there. We'll be putting this one in this fancy net that I brought.
Yeah.
How about if we use it? Wouldn't that be fun?
Idea.
That'd be great. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Oh, you say, can you see?
That's a tank.
That's a beautiful trout right there.
So we're gonna cruise down river just a little bit, anchor up in a really keen spot that we do well in for plugs, and I'm gonna make us some deer burgers for lunch.
Hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying this week's episode from the Yakima River where we're back trolling plugs for wild rainbows. Now there's no scent allowed in the Yakima River, otherwise we'd be putting a lot of ProCure Super Gels on those plugs. But one option there is for you is the ProCure Scent-Free UV Flash Super Gel. No scent, perfectly legal, adds that great brilliant flash to your lures and can be a real big help. Now let's go back to the Yakima River and see if we can't back down on a few more wild rainbows. It's lunchtime on the Yakima River, Washington's only blue ribbon trout stream, and one of the prettiest rivers in the Northwest. It's full of wild rainbow trout. And as the day warms up, the fish are getting as hungry as we are, and there's nothing they want more than a big meal represented by a 2.0 or 2.5 mag lip.
One of them's gonna go, guaranteed.
Oh, it's got it, bro. This is just a money slot.
Between here and that dark red bush sticking out.
Oh, there
right
he is.
there he is.
Oh, he didn't stick.
And there he was. Again, the golden orange.
Yeah. It's definitely been money today.
Metallic gold, orange stripe has been MVP.
Yeah. Important to really work those holes and work those seams and kind of have a plan as you come down in the hole on where you want to put each plug, right? And try to have focus points so that way you don't get off course, because a lot of times you get off course and your plug gets in some of that rolling boily water where you don't want it. It's hard to correct yourself in a hole and still have time to fish it thoroughly. So you really want to pay attention, kind of pick a plan as you come down a hole and how you want to plug it. Oh God, deny! Oh. See, I don't know if you saw that or not, but that rod got, oh, he came back and bit the other one. He's got him now. He came back and bit the other one.
This one, right here, one in my hand.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
Dude, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is. That is a toad ski. Wowie. Rather gorgeous creature, wouldn't you say?
Gorgeous creature.
Another gorgeous creature.
So, yeah, as you can see, man, these maglip right there, single side wash, very easy to get the hook out.
Plop.
Safe, can be a safe return right back to the water. Off he goes. When the river's in really, really good shape, this is ridiculous. Like, it's like 40, 50, 60, 70 fish a day. So, you know, we picked the right presentation for today too. Higher, dirtier water, pulling some plugs. It's been effective.
That left rod is in the spot. This is in the chase, that's in the catch.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Oh dear. Look at
There it is.
We knew it was coming though, didn't we?
Exactly what we said, man. So the right rod is when, you know, the faster water, which generally happens when you're plugging, you know, small areas or whatever, but it was working way harder. The left rod was not working hard. It was at the angle and the speed that the fish have been liking, and it got thumped. Now the right rod's kind of cruising over there. Oh, there it just got bit. Oh, he's on. Real, he's on. Real. So I slid that right rod right over. We slid that right rod right over into the same ditch and boom. This is exactly what we said. That right rod just let up.
Look at it jump. You know what though? That's not the fish that jumped.
That's not the fish.
No, the one that jumped was 3 times that size. Did you notice that?
That's definitely the smallest fish today.
Yeah, well, that's not the same fish that just jumped. I think the one that just jumped might have been the one we stung earlier. Oh boy, let's see, little tiny little guy. He's so cute. So cute. Bye-bye, dude. Here we go. Oh, that one, look where that is. Oh dear. Oh, no!
Yes! That is so awesome, dude.
Look where that one is.
That is so awesome.
Wow. It's right in the current seam where there's no current to perfect, a little bit fast. It's right on that 2 or 3 foot spot. As soon as it got in where all the perfect current seam is, right where the 2 currents meet, kaboom, off she went. I'm not moving this fish. I think he's the large.
Oh, double,
we have a double. He's on. Okay.
Oh, he came off.
Oh, this is the biggest fish of the day.
Really?
Yes, net, my son. We want this one. He is a Yep.
I don't know where you go anywhere. You get one of those. On a plug. I think that's a good fish to end the day on right there. Black and gold. Thank you, Mr. Fish. What an awesome fish.
Hey, thanks for making the time to watch today's episode, and I hope it was time well spent. Now, if we can help you out with your own fishing, be sure to stop into the Angler West store in Woodland, Washington. And remember, without our sponsors, there is no show. So please thank them when you can. Now, get out there and do some great fishing.